this is a really important story I want to talk about. And actually, what's funny is I didn't know last night that we were going to be doing this story, but I had just done a post on my Facebook page where I took a screenshot of all of the price reductions in the last 24 hours in the Santa Clarita Valley. Well, then I woke up this morning and started looking at everything Jessica had put together for us. And one of the number one stories, inventory of SCV homes listed for sale rises to highest level in 21 months.
Which is a really big deal.
It's a really big deal because we've seen such a trend in the opposite direction. So because of this, Mike, I wanted to, because not only did my Facebook post get a lot of attention, I started getting private messages and text messages, and people are saying, "What's really going on? Should I sell now? Oh my God, the market's falling apart," and they're automatically thinking 2009, 2010, and they're like freaking out, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to go over a few things. I asked you because you are so knowledgeable and you've gone through so many cycles, and I wanted to ask you to share some signs that we're seeing to let us know that the market is shifting a little bit.
Yeah, it's very apparent that it's happening, and like you said, we've been through a couple cycles, and we're blessed because we do so much business that we kind of get an edge on the rest of the world when it's going on. But I wanted to point out a couple numbers, and this is straight out of the SCV TV post that I read. It said inventory, actually total 278 single-family homes changed owners last month, a drop of 9.4% from a year ago. Now, 10% is a big number, but when you look at the numbers from 278 to 307 sales, you're like, oh, whatever. It's still about 300. But in the grand scheme of things, 10% is a really big deal. And then it says June sales were up 23% over May. And then what else did I write down before I wanted to get into the drop this? Oh, 103 condominiums were sold, down 13.4% from the previous month. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, so it adds up. So we're going to do a little top 10, shall we?
Okay, yeah.
So, most of the homes we sell, we're the listing agents. And as we get the signs up and get people on the market, there's different trends that happen, right? Would you agree?
Oh, for sure.
So I'm doing a class on this this week. So we wrote down these 10 things, and I wanted to start talking about it. When you're driving around Santa Clarita this weekend or last weekend, how many open house signs did you see?
Oh, there's so many.
It's getting a little bit ridiculous, right? So somebody posted a corner of Westridge, La Valencia Boulevard, and the old road, and there was like 20 signs pointing all over. It almost looked like a joke. Yeah. There were so many open house signs, and that's just a sign that the inventory is much higher. Homes sit on the market longer, and the owners say, well, my house isn't selling, I want you to do an open house.
Right,
so
because before they
indicator.
were selling, before they even hit the market, or the day they hit the market, and now they're sitting longer, and now that's why there's so many open houses.
And this graphic, I don't know if I explained that behind us, is just July 2018 and August 2017, our inventory has almost doubled. So that adds, I think we have about 4 months supply of homes now. Before we had less than a month, so that's pretty big. All right, you want to do number 2?
Yeah, number 2, showing feedback, asking how much room in the price and how many offers. So I can even say in the last few years, we never received a phone call. We literally would just receive the offer and say, here's our offer, they're strong, they're writing over listing price.
How many others
and how many other offers do you have? And now it's more about, hey, they really like it, but, is there any room in the price? And, do you have any other offers?
How much will they come down?
How much will they come down? Are your sellers realistic? How did you come up with this price? These are questions that we're getting now that we never received in the last few years. So that right there has been a big change. And what's funny, Mike, is how quickly this happened.
It's weeks.
And I used the home. I put a home on Racket Club on the market. If I'd put that on the market 6 months ago, at the same price, I would have had 5 offers in the first 24 hours. And then I put it on the offer 6 months after this time in which I'm referring to, I got 2 offers in a matter of 3 or 4 days. Completely different. And the people would have been fighting for it.
What's amazing is what price range that is.
And that's in the 500,000.
500,000. So our median price range is 634,000, which is fantastic right now. It's a good sales price, but those prices are still flying off the door. And it's funny how we all have our favorite ones, like my Castaic one I keep talking about.
Yes.
We lost $75,000 in 30 days.
Yeah.
That's a big deal in that price range. So, all right, let me go.
Go
where
ahead.
are we at? Oh, number 3. Rentals are coming back to us. And what that means is I own California Leasing, the property management company, and the market's been so good, people are trying to sell and take advantage of their equity. But what's happened in the last several months is people said, we're done with you, we don't need you anymore, we're gonna sell our houses now and cash out. Well, they've been on the market 30, 60, 90 days, and their agents are saying, drop the price, drop the price. They're like, we don't wanna do that. We don't wanna give our homes away. So they're coming back to us and saying, okay, just kidding, rent it back out.
Right.
That's a surefire sign the market's softening
For,
right there.
for sure. Another thing, sign that we know the market's going down is, we're having to have the conversation with our sellers a lot, in that, if you're not getting 3 to 5 showings a week with the marketing, once we've proven the marketing, if you're not getting 3 to 5 showings a week, you are overpriced. And having to have that conversation with them. And if you are getting 3 to 5 showings a week, if you're not getting an offer, then you're overpriced. And so having to have that conversation that we haven't really had to have in the last few years, because they would come up and they were gone, or really in many instances gone before they ever even came up. So having that chat and educating yourself, a lot of education of sellers right now, because they're not understanding, if the neighbor's house went for 500, why can't theirs go for 515?
That's our biggest problem. 30 days ago, the prices were so much different. They're like, we should be able to go a little bit above them. I'm like, no. And next, number 5, people are asking about lengths of our contracts again. A standard listing contract in Santa Clarita is 6 months. But before, nobody ever cared. Oh, my house will sell before it hits the market. Now people are saying, how long are you putting homes on the market for? How long am I signed up with you? And I'm like, very interesting, because I haven't heard that in a couple of years.
Right.
So it's nice to know that we have the easy exit listing agreement, but people are actually concerned about that.
Right. And then people are actually looking at the marketing now, whereas something new for us as well as listing agents. When we would go on listing appointments, we would say, let's go for the marketing. Like, oh, no, we got it. We know.
We don't care.
We don't even care. Now it's like, well, what are you going to do to bring in the buyer? Show us your marketing.
And that's fantastic.
Which, of course, I love it, but because I'm excited to show it. But before that wasn't such a big deal to them. They were like, oh, it's going to sell no matter what. So that
actually used to hurt my feelings. Wait, we spend tens of thousands of dollars a month on marketing, and you don't care?
Right.
So, all right. Let's see. People don't want to call the discount brokers anymore. Interesting. All the calls we're getting, they're saying, well, with the market turning like it is, we don't necessarily want to trust somebody who's not a professional. And I hadn't heard that in a couple of years, too. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm hearing, well, it's no longer put it in the MLS and it'll sell. That's not going to, you have to have the out-of-the-box stuff, which you're not going to get at the discount broker. That's for sure. People are asking for comps again, and they're actually looking at them. Whereas in the last few years, we've had several scenarios where they've said, I want to be here, and this is what I want. And we've got like, okay, you know what, let's try it.
And they freaking get it.
And in several cases, it actually worked, like astronomical prices. Not anymore. And I was speaking with a lender the other day that said that they're really cracking down on appraisals again as well, because the banks are starting to see what's going on too. So they're like, whoa.
I'm glad you threw that in.
SoCal, we're watching you, SoCal.
Yeah, exactly. More price reductions and pending. So you said that in the beginning. So we had more price reductions in the last couple of weeks than we did in the last 3 months, which is mind-blowing. I love that.
Yeah, and then another one that, this one's huge, is agents start calling. So when the market is great and homes are selling like this, everybody becomes a realtor. Like, everyone has seen that everyone's best friend is a realtor. And this, when start to change, is when the cream starts rising to the top. You have your top 30 agents in town that have been there since 1965, and they're still the ones that make it through this. And now they're getting the phone calls from the other agents. What can I do? Teach me. Help me. How do I deal with this market? Wait a minute. It's not just going to fall in my lap. I don't understand. So
this week's class, I know, will be standing room only for the agents.
Right. And what's that class?
The top 10 indicators of a turning market.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
So we're going to talk about these, but more real estate agent specific. So.
Right. Got you. So so that's the sign that it's going down. But Mike, I don't want people to freak out. I don't think that in my opinion, and I'm just Tami Edwards, just my opinion, I feel like we're more stabilizing and getting back to reality right now. Well, I think we got a little out of control. Again, it was the Joneses sold their house for this much, so I can sell mine for this much. And the Smiths sold their house for this much, so I can. And now it's like, no, not really.
I'll speak to that a little bit. I didn't want to spend this much time on our opening, but when the average price range is $643,000 with a 10% down, which is kind of the norm people do, our payment's going to be $3,106 at a 5% interest rate. And I was calculating at a 6% interest rate, and it's a difference of $363 a month. That's a big jump for an average price range. That's somebody's, we're in Santa Clarita, that's somebody's little 5 Series BMW payment. That's a big difference for them, right? It's a big deal. So when you're talking, interest rates are going to see another 2 hikes this year and actually get to those numbers or above. That is going to force buyers to slow down, because they're like, wait a minute. I can't afford that $643 anymore. Now I can afford $599.
Right.
So if they can't afford that $643, where are the sellers going to have to go? right? So we already seen this with the higher price inventories.
Right.
Already got the brakes on, so that puts the brakes all the way down. So price reductions are the norm. You know, longer contracts are the norm. You know, people hiring professionals is the norm again. So here we go.
Okay, good information with Mike Bjorkman, our
Tami Edward.
real estate guru here.